Good afternoon. It's July 25th, 2023, and today we had really I would say it's a range day, but there's definitely an upward bias to it. It could be a trend day. I didn't look for any trends in here. I don't think it would help you. Yeah, and you can see that that actually looks like it's probably a trend. If we put the midline here, what does that look like? So that midline looks like it is accurate. Let's see on these. This midline looks like it has some validity to it. So that's probably it right there. You can see we got a bounce just now. So we'll see if this higher low, uh, that looks like a pretty good setup, especially since we have this move down, some correction, and a move to a new low. So this, okay, no signal bar, but that was a good signal bar. You probably want to take that. And these might change to blue now that I see this level of support down here. So before we start, I want to look at this channel here, and compare it to yesterday, the channel that started the day yesterday, because after the break of this channel, we got a pretty strong move down, and it took a very long time to make a new high from this channel. So let's look at yesterday. This channel looks different because it looks stronger and it looks tighter. It's more steep, but look how we've got more back and forth in this channel, which at the time of the reversal gives you more reason to believe we're going higher. And you can see there's clearly like a two-legged correction outside of the channel, followed by a move to a new low, whereas today we didn't really get that. So though this channel is flatter, there's not a whole lot of back and forth. There's just these two swings that make it to the high, and once we get this break, you get a strong sell-off. That, and with it bouncing off the midline, people probably just were viewing it as a range, especially when the correction came down to the overnight lows. So I just wanted to talk about that real quick. This is two legs up. We get the break. You get a second. You could probably look at that as a second entry long, but there's also a second entry long right here. If you went for 4 ticks, you would have gotten a scalp. If you went for 8 ticks, you would have gotten stopped out. The signal bar is not great, so that's one thing that you could have kept you out of the trade. But also, this leg of correction down, if you draw the range around it, it's bouncing perfectly at the midline. It bounces here, it bounces here. So when you're going long, you are taking a risk that prices could turn down at that midline again, and that's exactly what happened. Anyway, moving on, you get this move down, break, move to a new low, and it pretty much instantly reverses. So here you have this micro double bottom, then an inside bar, and then this swing low. So I looked at that as a new low. So when you get this first entry, failed second entry short, maybe you consider that. The problem here is that this is an inside bar, so that would probably make you a bit hesitant to take the trade. But if you draw this channel, we're looking for a new high. So you can see it takes a minute, but eventually we get it. Looks like we might be in this flatter channel, and there's no setups in here. But when you get the overshoot, it leads to a break, and then we get some two legs up before a sell-off, and then we get, really this is confirmation of that channel. I don't think that'd be really tough to see, but if you did see that, I think you can take that. Then you get a second entry short right off the EMA after this steep move down. So you're expecting a new low, but look at all that support along that midline. We just tested it a few times. So I don't think you want to take that, especially with this doji right here, outside bar, and then you almost get an outside bar here. So they're tricking people. If you see all this, maybe you can take that higher low, especially that's probably, 4 ticks. So I think you can take that. It doesn't tick higher though. Look at that, a 2-tick bar right next to it. And this is just a bunch of sideways stuff. Maybe you take this one right here. It looks like it might have trapped people. But I don't like that one so much just because of these dojis. But then you get a first entry, failed second entry short. I think I'm going to mark this one blue because it's off the trend channel. And now you should have this trend line drawn. It's off the short-term trend channel, I should say. And now you should have this longer-term channel drawn. And that's a nice bullish signal bar. And people probably got trapped right here thinking we're going short. So I like that one. Comes up, we get a large overshoot. Leads to a break, just like this channel over here. So maybe if you see that, maybe you take that lower high. You know, especially because up till this point, it's looking like a range. And it looks like there's room back to the EMA, 95.25. Yeah, there's about 6 ticks back to the EMA. Problem here is you might run into support. That's actually what happened because you have support right there. You found support right there, so you might find it again. So I'll keep that unmarked, but something worth considering. But then when we get the break and 2 legs up to a new, well, actually it's not a new high, but 2 legs up and it fails to go higher off that level, you might argue for it to be down here. Really, that's a double test anyway because of this price level. Then that tests it and then tests it again. Nice bearish bar. That's a second entry short. I like that entry. But then we bounce at these lows. You do get a failure right here, but to me, I'm just playing this like a range at this point. I don't think I want to mark that, especially all those inside bar or all that overlap. But if you recognize that this is a strong trend, maybe you take this bar or this bar. Maybe you enter on a limit order. You can see it turns out to be a strong trend. Doesn't last too long though. And then you get this very bearish bar at that measured move of this range. And they probably trapped a lot of bears right here. So when it bounces off this level of support, it goes higher, it goes sideways at the measured move again. And we sell off a little bit. Unfortunately, no way to get in on this, I don't think. But then you get a first entry, failed second entry, and I like this one. Even though you're going long on an inside bar, I like that, especially if you see that midline. That looks pretty good. Come up here, first entry, failed second entry long. I mean, we had a range feel all day. Even though prices are in an uptrend, they're coming on both sides of the EMA and it's very slow moving. I think you can trade this both ways and you get a failed second entry long right here. I think you might take that. Then we come down here, find some congestion, make a double bottom here. So that's a first entry, second entry. Maybe you consider that, but that's aggressive. And here we're bouncing off the trend line again. So yeah, nice bullish bar on the, oh, never mind, it's turning into a doji, but earlier it was looking bullish, so depends on how this market closes. So that's how I saw it. I hope everyone had a great day. I'll be back tomorrow.